All right, welcome back. Whitlock and LeVar Arrington. Bucky Brooks is back with us. Let's move to college football, where Alabama got a win over Mississippi State Saturday, but suffered an even bigger loss, with Tua Tagovailoa going out for the rest of the season with a dislocated hip. Bama was up 28 when Tua got hurt, which left some people on social media blaming Nick Saban for the injury. Afterwards, Saban addressed his decision to keep Tua in the game.
You know, we can second-guess ourselves, all we want. We told Mac to warm up. We're going to go 2 minutes for the half. Tua wanted to play in the game. And so, I don't really make a lot of decisions based on, worrying about guys getting hurt.
Fair to blame Nick Saban in any capacity for Tua's injury? I say no. Freak injury.
Any capacity? Possibly any capacity, but in real terms capacity, Power 5 football capacity, major program capacity, absolutely not. You're still in the first half of the game. Most teams will drive the score up to, somewhere around 40, 50 buck before they start pulling their guys out. You're talking about a team that just took a loss the week before to LSU. They're now looking on the outside, looking into what could be their playoff season. You're going to keep him in, whether it's to get a little bit more work. Like you said, maybe you're working on a 2-minute drill and then you're done. Maybe they kept him in. They're going to decide more often than not, you're going to have that conversation at halftime. How many reps is he going to take? How many series is he going to go in and is he going to play? It's standard. There's no way to sit there and say a freak accident that took place is something that you blame on the coach in this circumstance.
I blame him. His guy was hurt. Tua was hurt. He was hurt coming in. He had ankle surgery a couple weeks ago. He wasn't right. He wasn't right at the end of the LSU game. And I understand the pressure that you feel when you're a head coach at Alabama and you have to put up a big number to give yourself an outshot shot to get into the playoff. But anyone who saw Tua, the LSU game, and even at the beginning of this game, knew that he wasn't right. And sometimes you got to protect your player against himself. So he can talk about Tua wanted to play, but we also know that if you have a lower body injury, you're more susceptible to have other lower body injuries. So if your right ankle is hurt, your right knee, your right hip, all of those things are more vulnerable because you're overcompensating. I think this is one where Nick Saban was doing what he thought was best in the best interest of the program, but he certainly did a disservice to Tua by putting him out there.
How about this, Buck? Because I think you have a right to have that opinion. But when I watched the play, I thought two things, like, interesting. What are they trying to accomplish? They're up big. But I also thought, interesting, why isn't Tua getting rid of the ball and protecting himself? Again, protection starts at home. And so I was surprised he held the ball that long, not to put any blame on Tua. But the other reason why I'm going to let Nick Saban off the hook here is that, to me, I think we have clear evidence, and I hate to say this, but it's just the way I feel. We're here to analyze football. I don't think Tua is built for the game. I think he's injury prone. I hear a lot of people talking about him still going in the first round of the draft. I wouldn't take him. Now, I don't think he's built for this game. I would not take Tua in the first round of the NFL draft. No how, no way.
I think it's interesting that you bring that point up because one thing that you do when you're a scout is you compile all the data. And all the data on Tua says every year he's been hurt, some kind of injury. And so you have the injury history, you have the height. We're still waiting to see what the verified height is going to be. And then we have the game where we've seen him play and have some splash moments. He's a spectacular player, nice leader, but you still want to see the level of consistency. I think we brought up enough doubts to maybe bring him out of the first round, and maybe someone would view him kind of like a Jalen Smith. If we can get him in the top of the
Jalen Hurts?
No, Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith, the linebacker.
Linebacker from Notre Dame in terms of if we can get him at the right value at the top of the second round, we'll take our chance because it won't cost us as much, and we're willing to take that risk.
Just very quickly, just to address Bucky's first point, an ankle injury by no means is a grounds to condemn Nick Saban on playing him, coming into the game. I understand that we could say protect him in that regard, but if you go through the week of practice, if you're preparing and you're in the game plan and everybody, all things are given, you got the green light, the kid wants to play, the coaches are on the same page, the medical staff is on the same page. You cannot sit there and say you're doing him a disservice by putting him in to play the game.
I don't agree with Bucky, but I see where he's coming from, though, because we're not talking about an ankle. They had surgery on the ankle.
Right.
It
I
wasn't a high sprain he had surgery.
He had to be, but let's be clear. People have surgeries and come back from. People get meniscus surgeries. People come back from ankle surgeries, hand surgeries, elbow surgeries, and come back and they play the game. So I don't want it to be from my perspective, because I know for myself. I came out. I played an entire time with a hernia, and let me tell you something. I was cleared. If you can handle the pain, you go out there and you play. It felt like a blowtorch every time I hit the ground, but you know what?
But you're a real one, though. Like, you're a real one.
Well,
you're old school. You're old school.
I don't want to put it on that. I don't want to put it on that.
He's got a Hall of Fame jacket on.
He does.
That's how he got that Hall of Fame jacket.
But I'm just saying,
we got to go.
At the end of the LSU game,
coming up,
around.
We'll give you our latest approval ratings for Lamar Jackson, and we'll debate whether anyone can catch Lamar in the MVP race. Nerds!
Get off my jacket.
LeVar Arrington, Uncle Jimmy's off today, tending to his child. All right, let's talk Lamar Jackson, who had another huge game this weekend, throwing for 4 touchdowns in a dominant win over the Texans. Lamar hasn't just silenced his critics this year. He's actually leading the MVP discussion. LeVar, you think anyone can catch Lamar in the MVP race?
I do believe that. And on some people's list, some have Russell Wilson still ahead of Lamar Jackson. So
we're not talking about people in Seattle.
All right, well,
the rest of America.
I think Russell Wilson has an opportunity. Aaron Rodgers, maybe even Christian McCaffrey. There's 6 games left. You know, we don't know.
Even Dak Prescott, weren't you arguing Dak Prescott?
Even Dak could be. I don't think to win it, but he could be in the conversation.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. But there's 6 games left. Anything can happen. Somebody could really surge. That's right there. I mean, what will Russ do the rest of the way? What will Aaron Rodgers do? Depending on what they do and depending on what Lamar does. I mean, he's got a primetime game coming up against the Rams. Let's see how he plays another game.
The only thing that could happen is if Lamar broke stride. He can't be caught if he continues to run. Something's got to happen. And so none of these guys can do anything. I don't care if Russell Wilson throws for 30 touchdowns the last 6 weeks of the season. He's not catching Lamar unless Lamar breaks stride. Lamar could close this out Monday night against the Rams and against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Monday night, they play the Rams. He has a big game. It's over. It'll be secretary coming down the stretch at the Belmont Stakes. All right, let's get to our approval ratings for Lamar Jackson. I have him appropriately rated at an 84 GOAT status.
Right.
25 perfect in job performance. You can't do any better.
Yep.
Raised him up in authenticity and character. Love the shirt. Lamar, 84. GOAT.
I love it. But I'm gonna give him an all-star. Listen, job performance. I gave him 16 because I still believe there's a lot left.
Because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
No, I like 16. I'm confident there. All-time great. I'm gonna give him 15 because he still has a lot left. And the rest of the way, I'm giving him a 74.
70. You're crazy. But the internet agrees with you. They also have him at all-star status.